MPS community update, this time for February 2019. So when... Oh wait, we had a connection problem, so... okay. Yeah, so once again, welcome everyone to the MPS community update for February 2019. Good morning or good day or whenever you watch the recording to you. Today I'm going to do the second one. Yeah, it is March, but I will look back for February. So I will try to sum up what happened in the community in February. So that's why I would call it February. So one note on the last one. So if you only watch the community updates, so last time I said something about an issue in the MPS extensions, where there is a change upcoming with MPS 2019, and it seems like somehow it got interpreted as I discouraged this change or something. This was not my intention. I simply wanted to mention it and that everyone is aware of the change. So it was about the Java library loading and model stop building. So yeah, please don't take this as offense. It was not intended as that. So then let's continue with what happened in February. So far, when I took a look at my notes yesterday evening, I actually thought it's not that much that happened. But then I looked at my well, when I took a look at the repository and the issues that were created, it was only one by Nico. We will come to that in a minute. But then I looked at my own list of notes that I took during February, what happened, and it's actually quite a lot. So let's get started. So the first thing is, as I already mentioned, Nico pointed me to something that is about to happen in March. So that's the MPS Day in Eindhoven. And it's organized by the MPS community from the Netherlands, and OC and Altran are also co-organizing it. Apparently they sold out last week, so there is a waiting list. If you are interested in it, sign up for the waiting list. You can find it under the link that I just posted in chat. So yeah, it's a full day with a program where various people will talk. Markus is one of them. Yeah, it should give you a good overview about what you can actually do with MPS and what happened in the ecosystem as well. So Markus will give an overview as a keynote there, what happened in MPS during the last month, years, etc. So yeah, if you are from the Netherlands and you are interested in it, sign up for it. I think it's a great opportunity to get to know something about MPS, and it will be held in the Altran office in Eindhoven. And you can find the address and all the other information on the website as well. And thank you, Nico, for putting this into the repository and letting me know that this is about to happen. Then the next thing that I would like to mention is that MPS 2019 is currently in early access preview 6. So I think we will see the first release candidate soon. The MPS extensions are already migrated. So mostly by the effort that the guys from JetBrains are doing there. When they actually change MPS, that they also take care of doing the necessary changes in the MPS extensions. So they are ready for 2019-1. The Embedder platform is also migrated and mostly ready, I think. All the tests are green, so I don't see any big issues there. There's still one open issue in IETS 3 at the moment, which is with regard to node test generation. But as last time for the MPS 2018-3 update, I will do a write-up on what was actually required to change once we reach RC2 or RC3, so that you also know what changes to expect. But so far, 2019-1 seems like a pretty low-effort update. Let's put it like this. It doesn't look like that there's much API that was removed or any other big changes inside of MPS itself. So I think it's mostly a stabilization update. So much for 2019-1, I think. Yeah, you can try 2019-1 out with the MPS extensions if you like. We don't upload the releases so we don't upload releases to GitHub for 2019-1 yet. But you can check out the corresponding branch and build it on your own if you want to play around with it. As we speak of the MPS extensions, so we are currently missing a contribution guide there. So we don't have a real checklist or what to expect from extensions that we would like to see in there. So I would like to, over the next month, so until the end of March, to actually create a contribution guide that we then put up on the documentation side of that. There is an issue in the repository. It's this one, where I would like to collect your feedback. So what would you expect from something that is part of the MPS extensions, and what would you be willing to do to place your extension inside of the repository? So what are requirements for something new that we want to put there? Yeah, feel free to contribute feedback there, or give us other input what you think is required that something should become part of the MPS extensions. And then there's one more thing that is also a bit related to that, but not necessarily the same. That is, we would like to actually shrink the embedder platform. So some various discussions over the last 2 weeks we had about the size of the repository, what components are in there, and what do we publish as the embedder platform. I think we should revisit what is part of it, and we actually want to do that also post 2019-1 release. So once the oh no, I didn't see that. I would take a so it's in MPS. Okay. I will check that in a minute. Let me finish the MPS platform stuff, and then I can take a look at the issue. So our idea there is to most probably shrink the amount of components that are part of the embedder platform. Some of them are unmaintained for quite some time. Some of them are even not working for quite some time. And on the one hand, it doesn't look like that there is much interest in some of the components or extensions that are in there. And so, yeah, over the next 4 to 6 weeks, we would like to come up with the first set of extensions that we would like to remove. And then we need your feedback on if you are using them, and what you are using of them, and if we might have a way to migrate you away from these parts of the embedder platform, because we really want to free up some more resources there to not maintain all of the code. Sometimes there are some extensions that aren't maintained for a long time, and then migrating them to new MPS versions can be quite a pain. And we also would like to actually shrink down the artifact size. So right now this is a 130 megabytes zip file, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there is also an issue on GitHub on the repository, which I opened this morning actually, where you can also leave your feedback. So if you think something should be removed, you tried it out and it didn't work, post it there. If you think there's something on that list that you definitely want to keep. Right now the list is only 2 entries long, but it will change in the future. So make sure to, if you are interested in that, to subscribe on GitHub to the issue so that you get notifications. You can actually do that by, oh, I'm not signed in. Let me just sign in here. Oh no, then I need a second. I don't have 2-factor tokens here. So there should be a subscribe button down here under the participants field where you can actually subscribe to the issue, and then GitHub will send you notifications via mail and the internal GitHub notification system when something changes. So make sure you click that and then comment if you see something that you would not like to get removed. Okay, so then let's take a look at what you mentioned, the issue with the vertical lines. Here, 26 days ago. Okay. Seems like there's some margin going on here. Okay. I will take a look at that next week. I won't have time this weekend, but I can take a look at that, or together with Sasha, I can take a look at that. Then the next thing is there are 2 open source projects around MPS at the moment that that I noticed either on the MPS Slack or because I was just or because I was pointed to them by people. So the first thing is there is a aspect implementation for MPS. It's called MPS aspects, so it allows you to use aspect-oriented programming with MPS concepts, and it's created by I think it was Daniel Pitts, yeah, so at Over-Engineered on the MPS Slack. It's, as far as I read in the README, it's in a pre-alpha phase, so it's really early development. But if you're interested in using aspect-oriented programming with your MPS concepts, you might want to give this a try. I personally haven't looked at it in any detail, but I still think it's worth mentioning. Maybe you even want to contribute to that, so get in touch with Daniel on Slack then, I guess. And then there's a second thing that I saw that is not necessarily an extension to the MPS concepts and base language itself. So this is more a new language implementation inside of MPS, and David is working on a PHP implementation in MPS. So yeah, a way to generate PHP from MPS and to have like a base language for PHP projects. I also have not had a look at the details of that project, but feel free to take a look at it and try it out. I think it's always interesting when we see new base language like implementations inside of MPS. Then those were the 2 open source projects that I noticed during the last 4 to 6 weeks. Then there's one more thing that I am personally working on, and that is I would like to create an MPS scaffold repository where we as a community have a repository where we place a scaffold for an MPS project. And it should also include like the build scripts. So okay, place it like this. So it should resemble how we would like to have a layout for an MPS project, either on the file system, but also from the build perspective. So what are how should the Gradle scripts, for instance, look like that build the project? How would an MPS build script look like, and things like that? So basically all the infrastructure that you would need to get kickstarted with an MPS project, you could simply take it from this repository and then just care for basically implementing your languages, and do not necessarily care much about how to actually set up the build and the infrastructure. Of course, we need to document how to use it, but also like maintaining it at one location if we have new best practices as a community, how to do this. Right now, there is no code on the master branch in this repository. There is one additional branch in there, which I created roughly a month ago, which I also used in the stream series, or in the 2 streams where we took a look at how to do the command line build for a repository. It's basically what I used there. And there are 2 open issues at the moment where we discuss some of the ideas, how the build layout should look like. And the discussion is currently there that we might have 2 at least different layouts. One that is more the small project getting started configuration, where we don't build, where you don't want to build a customized standalone IDE based on MPS, but you only want to build your languages and create a zip file out of that. So that's more what projects like the MPS extensions, IETS3, etc. would use. But also, I think there's a second use case which many people have, and that is not to distribute your languages, but to distribute a full-blown IDE to your end users. And I would like to include that as well. So feel free to give us your input on that topic in the repository. There are the 2 issues where you can add comments or open new issues if you have ideas there. But there's no code yet where you can actually take a look at. I hope we get to a state where there is some code during the next 1 or 2 weeks, but I cannot really promise it. It depends a bit on how much time I have. Yeah, and then the midterm idea is there maybe that you can just that you can have a wizard that configures your MPS project with Gradle, etc. Set up in the way that we proposed that. But that's still quite far-fetched. I don't think we get there in the next 1 or 2 months. It's more like something a goal for 2019. So I think this is all what I noticed happened. Let me check on the list that I had. So the MPS day we mentioned, MPS aspects as well, PHP for MPS. 2019 EAP, MPS extensions, platform. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all that I have on my list for February that happened. There's one more personal note. So I'm going to move my blog away from Medium because I'm not really happy with the latest changes there on the platform. So I will move it back to my personal domain here. That would also mean that all the blog posts that I will do about Heavy Meter, the Screaming series, and also the blog posts that accompany the MPS community updates will now be there. I will still add a one post on Medium for all the people that follow me there, so that they know I'm moving to the new domain. Right now, there's no way to get an email newsletter. I'm working on that. I think I will finish that next week. But it's a bit more work these days with GDPR and the legal stuff around it because I'm storing user data then. Yeah, so much for that, I think. I think this is it. So I will upload the recording pretty soon to YouTube as well. Include all the links there in the video description that I today posted in chat. And I will also then create a blog post that links to the YouTube video and also includes all the information with the various links, etc. As well. So if you have something, noticed something, worked on something, or uh, uh, want me to mention in this kind of format, then please head over to my GitHub account and just add a new issue in the heavy meta repository here. I guess I will just, after the stream, I will just create the placeholder issue for the next episode. So just feel free to comment there, add links or things that you or things that I should mention otherwise in there, and then I will mention them on the beginning of April when we look back for February. Yeah, and a reminder, I'm going to stream in a normal schedule. So Tuesday and Thursday next week, I am going to do 2 more heavy meta episodes. On Tuesday, we are looking at the remaining stuff that is open for shadow models. And then I have not really planned what today on Thursday. So we might do a standalone IDE for our language, or we start with an interpreter for our language. I have not yet decided. It depends a bit on how much time I have to prepare something, because for the interpreter, I most probably have to prepare a bit more than for the build stuff. Yeah, I think that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to discuss on the MPS Slack with me about the format and give feedback there. And I hope you have a nice weekend and hope to see you next time again. Yeah, I guess that's it for today. Have a nice weekend. Bye.